Good morning. My name is Linda Glauben. It is Thursday, August 17th, 2023, and I am here with Joan Epstein. Joanne Epstein today. Joanne, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to Dallas and a little bit about that story.
Well, my first daughter came here about 4 years ago from college, actually, for a job. And our second daughter came to visit her that summer and said if she didn't get if she got a job or something, she might not go back to school. So I don't think she got her job right away. I think she did go back for a little while. But anyhow, my second daughter ended up following her sister. So they've both been here about 35, 45 years. And they were always after us to come and move here. They kept saying how wonderful the weather is. They lied.
This summer.
Well, I think the last couple summers have been really hot. You can't even go outside. But at that time, we both had jobs. We were both working, and Don's mom was alive, and we were kind of, she was on her own, but we had to watch her. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this went on until finally it got to the point we weren't working. We were doing a lot of volunteer. We loved living there. We really had a lot of friends. We did a lot of volunteering, mostly all nonprofit. Mm-hmm. We just really enjoyed it.
And that was in Cleveland.
In Cleveland. But our daughters kind of got to the point, I think they thought we were too old to take care of ourselves. So they were after us for many years to come here.
When did you come here?
It'll be 7 years, I think, in October. Is that right?
End of October.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's why we're here.
It's a good reason. It's a good reason.
Pardon?
It's a good reason.
Well, now we know it's necessary. It's very necessary. When the children were small, my grandchildren were small, we used to come here about twice a year. And it was easier for us to come because we didn't have the kind of schedule that kids have. And but then when they were after us, it wasn't easy for them to up and come here because they had jobs and family. So we decided it was necessary.
So when you came to Dallas, mm-hmm. and you obviously moved into the community, what were some of the first things that you did to get involved?
Well, I think our oldest girl belonged to Temple Emmanuel. And when we would come here, we would occasionally go to Temple. We would go to the Saturday morning, they have a class, and Wednesday Rabbi Stern had a class. And we would go to those if we were here with Pam. Mm-hmm. So we did that, we joined Temple. We really haven't been there much in the last, I call it the epidemic. But we still go to those classes. And everyone said, if you really want to meet people, because we didn't know anybody.
Sure.
You should go to the J. So I think we came in December. And at that time, I was able to do a lot more. I go to a lot of the exercise classes and stuff. Then it got to the point, well, the J was kind of closed for couple of years. Or,
Yeah.
Like
like
everybody.
everything, right?
Yeah.
We got to know our homes very well.
Yeah. But when it opened up, we strictly were in the senior department.
So I always like to ask the question, obviously it's very important, but how important is your Judaism to your life and what you do?
Wow. Actually, my father was Catholic. My mother was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
They got married. I always think of Fiddler on the Roof because I never heard anybody say a bad word or anything, but I'm sure sparks flew when it happened.
I'm sure.
So I was kind of raised with both a little bit. We celebrated Christmas, we celebrated Passover. It was, I was very close to my mother's mother. My summer vacation would be to go to her house for 2 weeks or something. And and she would even buy me books on the Jewish holidays and that kind of thing.
So she was responsible for your Jewish education
I
as
think
a
so.
child.
I think
Did she come from another country, or was she
She
born
came
here?
She used to say it was White Russia. At that time, you know how Europe changed the lines.
It changed a lot, yes.
They came before the war, though. They came in, I think, right before the First World War, didn't they?
In the
See, Don
20s,
had
in the
something
20s, yeah.
Pardon?
In the 20s, 1920s, maybe.
I'm not sure. I know.
Before, because your mother was born in
1909.
1909.
Yeah.
1909.
So they came before. My mother came with her one brother, and then,
That's your grandmother.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not my
your mother
mother.
was
My
born
grandmother
here.
came with her brother.
With her brother, and your mother was born here.
Yeah, and then after that, her sisters and brother followed. So
Did you have siblings?
I had three sisters. I had 2 sisters and a brother. I'm confused because my one sister just passed away
Oh, I'm
about 3
sorry.
weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And she was 90 in May.
Wow.
So she was only a year and a half younger than I am. So we went to school together, we shared a
Yeah.
room together, we did all that.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah.
So, and my brother passed away about 8 years ago. So now, my one sister is 15 years younger than I am.
Wow.
So I call her my kid sister.
And she lives in Cleveland?
She lives in Dallas.
Oh, in Dallas.
It's funny, they came to Dallas, oh my goodness. They went to college right in Cleveland, and soon after that, they didn't come here right away. They went to Omaha, Nebraska, I think, and then came here for jobs.
Right, right.
So, in fact, I'm the only one, I married Jewish, and I follow it. And I really enjoy the holidays, and I like that you can ask questions.
Right. It's always, I think that's the thing that I love about Judaism. It's a constant learning.
Right.
And I feel like, it seems like you feel that way too, like you like to be
Right.
involved in it and celebrate the holidays. I'm sure you have the holidays. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you, you said you worked. What did you do for your career?
I started, I never went to college. When I graduated high school, I did bookkeeping and graduated to clerical, and I didn't work when my children were born right away. And I think when they started school, someone told me that, but I knew, a friend of ours said they knew of a part-time job in this really nice office, and they thought I would enjoy it. So I went to work there. And it was a accounting office.
Oh.
So I did a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a, what do you call it, a client that needed somebody just for that office. So I worked there. I mean, I was in the same office, but just worked for that client.
Mm-hmm.
And then they graduated into CDs and all that stuff when it first came out. So that was a lot of fun
I bet it was.
because I worked with all the studios.
Oh, fun.
So
Okay.
Walt Disney and Paramount.
How
and
fun is that?
all that. I
You got to
think
see
I'm
a lot of
missing out
things.
a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but anyway.
You got to learn how all those things are made, and movies are made, and all of that stuff. How fun is that? That's very fun.
Well, actually, I did the purchasing,
Oh.
so they were really nice to me because they're always nice to people in charge of
The ones who are
buying.
buying.
And
That's
I'm
great.
leaving out a lot of stuff and I'm jumping around, but
What's your favorite holiday? Or holy day, religious holiday?
I think Passover.
Passover?
I don't mind having to eat mice. As I grew, when I was growing up, we did not have Seders. But when I married Don, his family, they used to have really big Seders. They would have them like in rent a room in a deli and stuff like that.
Wow.
And the person that conducted it, Don's sister-in-law's father, he did it the old-fashioned way.
The long way.
The long way. But and we used to get dressed up for Passover. We did. So
And you have grandchildren.
I have 3 grandchildren.
And how do you share your Jewish life with them? Is it important for you to have them be or practice Judaism?
Wow. We went to all their bar mitzvahs and all that stuff. And it seems as they've gotten older, they don't go as much. I think they do go for holiday, but they don't go as much. And actually, our one granddaughter was raised, would you believe, Catholic. So I started out with Jewish. Pam, our oldest girl, is very much into the religion. In fact, on Friday nights, we go to their house for dinner, and they do the whole thing. We have the wine and the candles, and then a nice dinner.
I love to celebrate Shabbat. It's fun.
Yeah. And we don't eat here very often for lunch, but I love it on Friday occasion when Laura does the,
Laura Seymour, she does the luncheon. And all
Yeah.
that.
and she tells a little story, and I love that. And she has a class here now for seniors, which we both love, I think. Anyway, my younger daughter married someone who's Catholic, and that daughter went to Catholic school. But you know, even in the Catholic schools now, they teach a little bit about Passover.
Oh, really?
Well, it's all part.
Part of the history.
So,
Okay, that's good. Tell me what you like about the Jewish community.
I don't really know the Jewish community that well, because we don't. I mean, even here, I think half the people I meet are not Jewish, really.
Especially in the gym. Yeah.
I think anywhere, even at the lunch,
The senior classes.
Mm.
yeah. And they used to have a series here where once on a Friday, someone would talk about that came born in another country and would talk about it, and even some of them were not Jewish. So you get a little bit of everything.
Interesting stories. Everybody has a story to tell, right?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
When did you meet your husband? How long have you been married?
We're married 70 years.
Oh,
this
God
month.
bless you guys. That's wonderful. 1953.
Mhm.
I was born that year.
Actually, it's about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you had an anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh,
August
happy
2nd.
anniversary.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's like a lifetime, you know?
It is a lifetime.
How did you meet?
I worked in a finance company. Do you know what a finance company is?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mhm.
Some people don't. And he worked in TV, because TV was just becoming popular then too. He worked in the TV store. I think they also, anyhow, they would sell the TV. They would sell the TV. And the person, at then, you didn't have charge accounts like we have today. You got a book, and you paid $20 a month.
A layaway.
It wasn't even layaway, it was, you paid every month, you paid till you paid it off. A lot of insurance was like that. You would pay 20 cents a week or something, I think, on insurance counts. So anyhow, when they sold the TV and they didn't get paid for it, they would come to us for the money. So when he would come into the office, that's how we got to meet.
Oh.
And he asked me to lunch a couple times, and I did go. There were some really nice places downtown that were just fun to go to, and we did that. But our first date for the evening, he was going to come at 6, I think. And about 10 to 6, he calls, I'm running late, I have some customers here. And he must have called me about 4 times. And every time he'd call me, I was home by myself, and every time he'd call me, I'd say he'd be late, I'd call my girlfriend, and I'd say, I don't know what's going on. And the last time I said, I'm gonna give him one more chance, and if he doesn't come, I'm telling him, forget it. Well, he came, so.
Where did you go?
I lived downtown because my father managed the hotel we were living in. But we would go to the west. There was a restaurant on the west side called
Pete's Wayside.
Wayside Inn. And they had something there. Can't think of the name of the drink.
Ward 8.
Ward 8. See, he could tell my story better than
Well,
I.
he'll have his turn.
So, and that's where we went. And we went there many times. That was.
Nice.
One time we were coming home from there and there was a tornado.
Oh, my.
And we had to weave in and out of streets because of the trees that came down and stuff.
Oh my, that's scary.
That made it up.
No, it just, she warned me about that. So, do you have anything else you want to share with us?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. It's been a pleasure
I
listening
probably
to your
told you more
story.
than I
No, I like it. I love hearing people's stories. So you could talk all day as far as I'm concerned. But thank you very much, and I'm gonna